guys, it's Caleb from Rock Blocks. Today up on the lift we have an Audi Q8. We have a new splash guard and mud flap fitment for this generation, so let's go ahead and show you how to install it. So here we have the tools laid out for the install. You'll need a level, a T25 Torx, you'll need a Phillips head, a 4mm Allen head, and we're just going to be using our 90-degree screwdriver today. So let's go ahead and get to that install. Here we have your front laid out. What you'll get in your kit is your front mud flap or splash guard for that corner. You'll get your front mount plate and your front mounting tab. And then we'll go ahead and drop the hardware list on the screen right now. Before we head to the car, we're going to prep our mount plate and our mount tab. We'll start with the tab. We're going to take it and we're going to set it so that the etching faces down. We're going to go through that bottom slot here and just click it into place on the same side as the logo. Now for our mount plate, we're going to take it, flip it so the etching is facing away from us, and then we're going to press our 3 M6 flange nuts into these 3 holes here. Alright, now that we have the front prepped, we can go ahead and get that installed on the vehicle. Now that we're at the front of the vehicle, we're going to locate the 3 OEM screws that we're going to remove and be able to mount our mount plate. The bottom is going to correspond with the mount tab. The upper 2 are going to mount our mount plate. So those 2 are located right here and right here. And that third mounting hole is located just here on the bottom of the fender. So let's go ahead and remove that. Now that we've got the bottom removed, we're going to remove the 2 inner ones on the fender. Just right here and right here. These OEM screws are that T25 Torx. So now with those out of the way, we're actually going to reuse the 2 in here. So we're just going to go ahead and place a couple of fender washers on those. Now that we have our mount plate ready and prepped with those nuts, we're going to go ahead and align it with the holes in the body. But first, we're going to have to tuck it behind the fender's edge here, behind the plastic fender, and even behind the metal. If you feel along the edge, you'll feel that there's 2 layers. We want it behind the second layer, just like so, making sure that the flange portion of the nut is touching the fender liner. Now we're just going to go ahead and secure that using these OEM screws. Snug for now. We'll fully tighten them once we have the mud flap installed. That'll allow us for just a little bit of adjustability when mounting. Alright, now that we've got our flap, we're going to grab our number 10 screw with washer and a 7.5mm spacer, and that is going to go into that bottom hole on the bottom side of the fender. We're going to screw into the OEM mounting point right here on the bottom and just get that started by hand. Now we'll return up to the top and align the other 3 holes and get those started. Now for the inner 3 holes, we're going to take our 25mm button heads with washers and 7.5mm spacers, and those are going to screw into those flange nuts on our backing plate. We'll just go ahead, start from the bottom, working our way up, aligning the holes as we go. Now we're going to go ahead and use our 4mm Allen and get these 3 screws snugged up. We're going to leave them just fairly loose so that we can adjust the mud flap. Now we're just going to be on the bottom side here, tightening this number 10 screw into the bottom hole. Get it snug. And now we're going to check our fitment with a level. Get it right where we want it. Make sure it looks good. Now we'll go ahead and we're going to start with the bottom. We're going to fully lock that down, and then we'll fully lock down all mounting hardware in the fender well. Alright, and there you have it. That's the front installed. You can repeat those same steps on the other side. Now let's go ahead and move to the rear. Here we have your rear laid out. What you'll get in your kit is your rear flap or splash guard for that corner. You'll get your 2 mounting tabs that will go corresponding to these 2 holes. They will be marked holes A and B. So now let's go ahead and get those installed so that we can take it to the vehicle and install it on the vehicle. First, we're going to start with the upper tab, which is this one here. We're going to take it and we're going to pull it through to the side with the logo. Now the second tab, you'll push it through. It's going to turn right here. You'll get it straight. It'll match up with this other tab. Now we're just going to lock that into place, and your 2 alignment holes will line like that, with the smaller tab on top and the larger tab reaching over and being on the bottom. Now that we're at the rear of the vehicle, we're going to remove the 2 OEM screws located right here and right here within the wheel well, and then a screw located on the bottom of the fender. The screw that we'll be removing is right here on the bottom of the rear fender bumper area. So we'll go ahead, get that taken out, pop back up to the top side, and remove the other 2. We're just going to remove the other 2 screws here and here. Now that we have the OEM screws out of the way, we're going to grab our flap and begin mounting from the bottom hole using a number 10 screw with washer and a 10mm spacer. And that's just going to go through these 2 mounting tabs. We're going to put our spacer on top, and now we're just going to put it back into that hole on the bottom side of the bumper fender area. So to begin mounting, we're going to place it right up into the OEM insert on this bottom hole, and we're just going to get it started by hand like so. Now we can go up and put in the other 2 in the inside of the fender. For the next 2 holes, we're going to take number 10 screws with washers and 7.5mm spacers, and we're going to put the screw with washer through the flap, put our spacer on the back side, and screw directly into the OEM insert. We'll repeat that same step for the upper hole. Grab our Phillips head screwdriver. Now with it snugged up, we can make our adjustments. Grab our level, check it, take a step back, inspect, make sure it looks good. And when we're happy with where it's placed, we'll go ahead and fully secure all hardware. Alright, now we have that fully secured. That's how you install your rock blocks, mud flaps, and splash guards. Thanks for watching.